So Didar, welcome again to the show for the third time I've said that, but we want to know a little bit about you and your background. You do a lot of different things. I've read a lot of your articles and editorials you've put out, and I think you're a great voice for Bitcoin mining in particular. And I've enjoyed watching how active you've been kind of in the educating people through the media, through written media. So tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of your backstory, and we are going to ask some Kazakhstan questions.
Okay, thank you, Justin. Yeah, I'm Didar from Kazakhstan, Bitcoin miner. So we started in 2018. My friend was living in California in 2017 during the bull market, and he called me like, "Hey, did you hear about Bitcoin?" And I said, "No." He said, "Just read about it. Just read. Everyone is talking about this." So I thought, okay, but I wasn't so, excited about it as he was. So, but then I started to read about Bitcoin, and I was like, wow, this thing is something unique and special, especially for such countries as Kazakhstan, who used to be part of communist world, Soviet Union, very centralized, and it was like, and my background is finance, so I've been studying finance in university. I did my master degree in finance in UK. So, and Bitcoin mostly was about liberating money. And I was like, wow, the thing is cool. So then we started to brainstorm what we can do in Bitcoin space. In Kazakhstan, there's not much you can do because people just don't know at that time about Bitcoin.
What is the economy like? There are certain industries that Kazakhstan is known for?
It's oil and gas.
Okay.
And agriculture.
Okay.
And also some, the steel manufacturing, metals. So Kazakhstan is rich for natural resources.
Okay.
Other than that, IT and all this banking, it's just developed recently, maybe last 10 years.
Yeah.
Mostly Kazakhstan is well known for its natural resources.
Nice.
So going back 2018, and 17, we were brainstorming, we couldn't do any software company because we don't have any IT background. But we were in business. We were doing trading, buying stuff from China, selling in Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
So I was running some, local businesses like services. We got the restaurant. We got some, selling points. So we were in very traditional business. And I suggested let's do mining because seems like the electricity is cheap in Kazakhstan comparing to other parts of the world, and we have China here. We know how to buy stuff in China, how to bring it, and we know how to run the business. So we bought 50 S9s.
50 of them? Yeah.
25 each.
Yeah.
So we placed them first. The guy who sold us, he said, "Okay, I will take care of them. I will run them at my place, in my warehouse and everything." Said okay, we gave it to him, but then his uptime was terrible.
Really? What kind of percentage?
Maybe 50 or 60%.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
that's really bad.
What price was the electricity?
Back then, the electricity price was total maybe 4 cents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
We paid for him.
Yeah.
With his service,
and that included his service. Yeah. Wow, that's cheap. That's super
that's
cheap.
why
that is a trade-off for the 50% uptime.
Right.
Yeah, to mine Bitcoin. So that was only way to do something in this industry.
Did you have to provide the capital for the other than the machines, but for the infrastructure and racks and all that, or what was the design of that early operation with the S9s?
So it was no design, the shelves that are used in the store.
Right. So that was it.
So
just throw them up there.
He used this shelves and internet cable and just.
How hot was it in that room?
Oh, it was really hot.
Did you guys have ventilation or anything, or
So it was from one side he had some fans from the window blowing.
Yeah, an AC, a window AC unit. Yeah.
So then we decided we were tired of this guy because he was doing it really bad, and we said, okay, let's do let's find some place and do this by ourselves.
Right.
And so we took the machines from him and put it in our place, and it was way better. And at the same time, like we were preaching Bitcoin, in Kazakhstan among our friends, because it's like new for us. We are so excited. We are doing mining. We have all these mining payouts in our like app.
How did you? Sorry, I want to, because I do want to know, like, if you only really heard about it in 2018, right? So like what? Because I see the stuff you write now, and it's very well put together, and like you're obviously a proponent for like the hard money aspect of Bitcoin. What was the education process like for you? Were you preaching it based on like, this is solid money? Or were you preaching it based on, we can make a lot of money just mining Bitcoin? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when did you become an advocate for like the hard money aspect of it?
I think from very beginning, but it was, excitement was doubled because it also like was
good for now.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that you can do money. I mean, you can live
make
for it.
Money.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You don't have to do other stuff. So that sometimes some ideas are so good, but you cannot like, cancel your real world, your job, your everything, and just like preach this and live by this. Yeah. But with Bitcoin, it's
you can do both, especially if you got power that cheap over there. Because like if he's including his fee, he's probably paying what, 2 or 3 cents a kilowatt hour, for the actual electricity. Yeah, so it was obviously a very good area to be mining Bitcoin.
Yeah, and I understand it immediately. So I understood that it's not only like I like it as an idea and I want to do something, and also like it's something that I can like feed my family and develop the business. So and initially I was preaching like just like Bitcoin, new money, so it's decentralized, so how mining works and everything. And my friends were like excited that I showed the app, like a mining pool app, where all the payouts are, and they wanted to join. Like, hey, how can I join? Like, so we started to help them. So we bought machines for them, placed it in our place, and the business slowly started to grow. Then we went for first conference in Georgia, 2018, Bitmain organized. So I met some international miners, and when they learned our electricity price, they say, hey, how can we move some of our operation in Kazakhstan? We started to help them. So organically, naturally, it was like growing. And then 2021, China banned Bitcoin, and all the Chinese miners came to Kazakhstan.
Poured in.
Yeah, probably everywhere in the world. Like they went to America, to Russia, but in Kazakhstan it was like
huge boom.
Yeah, so they took almost everything, like what was available on the electricity market.
Really. Has that driven up electricity prices, or has that driven them down?
In Kazakhstan, because the system is too centralized, the price is fixed.
Okay,
it's not like here, like market price. You bid for it, like the month and stuff like that. Government.
That's maybe that's a good thing in terms of like at least knowing what your cost is going to be.
Running your business.
Yeah,
for running business, yes, but for the whole economy in the system, it's bad. When the market doesn't regulate. Now we see why, because all of this, like we got independence 1991, all this like how many 30 years, there wasn't much investment in the power generation business.
Right, because it's not very profitable, probably.
It's not profitable at all.
Right.
So you put your investments, and then probably you will not get your money back because of so low tariffs. And only thing you do, you keep repairing old Soviet Union infrastructure.
Yeah, man. See, that's the thing that we don't think about here. Like we're spoiled, honestly, and we have infrastructure issues too, but not probably at all close to the level that you guys deal with there. And
our grid is failing here right now. So my jiu-jitsu gym on Monday, I showed up, electricity was out, and I was like, what's going on? They were like rolling blackouts throughout Houston.
No kidding.
Yeah. Nobody was talking about it, but they said they're just systematically just shutting down certain areas because it was like 104, 105 degrees or whatever it was. So everybody's running their AC. The grid's just like overloaded right now.
Gosh,
I mean, this
jiu-jitsu with no electricity right now. Oh, AC would be brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's also upstairs, and so it turns into a sauna.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I wonder these curtailment programs for miners. They should help in this kind of situations when the price is high for electricity. They should shut down.
They do.
They have been, right. And that actually, I would be curious to know, because like obviously this summer is horrible as far as, you know, the weather, the heat.
This is worldwide.
Yeah, it is.
It's like you're seeing like, I think China had like 120 something degrees.
Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah.
Europe also is like, yesterday I talked to one guy from Austria. He said like, it's a record high now.
Yeah.
There as well.
And we were asking before we started recording, like, what do you enjoy the least about Houston right now? It's weather.
Yeah,
I know.
Only now.
Now,
yeah, because when I came in December, I was enjoying from December till May. I guess.
Yeah,
It was really nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
it is.
It's only miserable for a few months. It's not all the time.
Yeah, it's basically June through September.
Yeah,
you know? And then it'll start cooling off in October. It can still be brutal in October.
But like I was telling him before you walked in, I said the trade-off for the awful weather for a few months a year is the amount of opportunity,
tons of opportunity
there is in Houston.
Right.
And I just think it's unmatched.
I don't think there's anything like it either. I mean, I came down here from Missouri several years ago. I know maybe we're getting off topic, but this is part of it.
Yeah.
When I came down, I mean, the different amount of jobs, like the oil and gas industry, and just things I'd never even heard of. And I'm literally only like 2 or 3 states away. But yeah, the opportunity here is incredible. So, but yeah, back to Kazakhstan. I don't know. We were talking about this too. We don't know anything about Kazakhstan really, except Borat. And that was kind of, I had a text exchange with somebody this morning, and I was telling them, yeah, we got a guy from Kazakhstan coming on here. And they're like, I've never met anybody from Kazakhstan. I was like, I haven't either.
Yeah, I think you're literally the first person I ever met from Kazakhstan.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So tell us, like, what is the biggest difference in Kazakhstan and here? And, you know, kind of how have you adjusted to it so far?
Yeah, I just adjusted well. The biggest difference, maybe culture, some cultural things. Yeah.
Are
you staying here permanently? Or you are? Okay, nice, good.
What's the biggest thing culturally that's like been surprising to you about the US?
It's not surprising. Maybe even something I like. It's like here people like enjoy freedom. Really.
Right.
I mean, in everything, like you can say what you want, you can do what you want, nobody cares. Like So there we have like more like traditional ways. So it's some period maybe during first presidency, we had like Nazarbayev, and at that time you cannot say bad things about him.
Wow.
So
man, we don't think about that.
That literally never crosses my mind. But you think that most of the world really operates that way.
Right. And especially over there. I mean,
yeah, now in Kazakhstan it's much better.
Yeah.
In terms of freedom, but still people lived under Soviet system for centuries, under some, some kind of tyranny for 20 years, and still like older generation, they are kind of very conservative, very
right. I mean, 32 years ago is when you guys got your independence. It's just so wild. That's so wild. Like
we got ours like 250 years ago.
Yeah. It's crazy.
We still celebrate it too.
Yeah.
July 4th every year.
Right.
That's kind of weird to think about too.
Yeah,
it's like it's been hundreds of years and we're still just like, yeah, man, fuck the Brits.
And I saw statistics like 2.5 billion were spent on fireworks in the United States.
Oh, that's a big business.
Yeah,
and they're all made in China too.
Yeah.
Ironic.
That is ironic. But yeah, so your guys' operations, tell us about your mining company.
We operate in Kazakhstan. We started recently here. We have hosted some of our machines with local hosters in West Virginia and Iowa. But it's like small operation. We are not that big.
How much do you have going in Kazakhstan and here combined?
So in Kazakhstan, it's sad to say we've built 65 megawatt facilities. But only maybe 7 or 8 megawatt is running right now.
Really?
Yeah. All the others, government just don't let miners mine. Now.
I was going to ask about that.
Let's talk about that. Yeah. What are the challenges? I mean, that's a big discrepancy between 65 megawatts and like 7 and 8 megawatts.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
what are the challenges that ultimately drove you to wanting to come to the US and expand here?
So Kazakhstan is a small country. Country generates only like 17 gigawatt per hour of
Mm-hmm.
energy.
Mm-hmm.
Comparing to Texas, I think Texas do 90.
Yeah, I was gonna say 84, 85, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like how much? 5 times smaller
Mhm.
than Texas itself, just Texas,
Yeah.
Kazakhstan. And so the recently population is growing really fast. Also, other businesses are growing, like traditional industries. But the infrastructure, as I said, is very old. All these power plants, all these electricity lines, substations are old, and they like failing now. So we face some kind of deficit of electricity there. So it's just not enough generation to supply every customer. So government decided, so miners are kind of scapegoats.
Right.
So they doesn't bring real value to the economy, and they said, okay, let's do separate category where we say miners cannot consume electricity from electricity grid during the deficit times. But it's 90% of
the day.
Yeah.
Wow. So the 8 megawatts you got going out of that 65, is that why is that one not kind of hit, I guess?
Because also they made some regulations where you can like here we have some market element in our economy where they say only miners go to certain auction and they bid for the electricity price.
Okay.
So we got like almost the 6 to 7 cents per kilowatt hour.
Right.
And in Kazakhstan, it's extremely like expensive. And they only give like how much, 100 megawatt, maybe maximum per day. And everyone bids for it.
To all the miners.
All the miners.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Is they bidding in terms of like raising up the price, or is it bidding in terms of like it's like a lottery and just
raising price and capacity? So whoever bids. So some companies, what they do, they, for example, buy all 100 megawatts, but they don't need it. They need for their operation just 40 megawatts, and then they can resell some like with their margin.
Right.
So I mean, you have to have some capital to bid every day and to do. And it's very limited, so it makes no sense to build more there. And with our also current facilities that we built, we face also another problem. It's the grid itself just keeps these letters where they restrict to sell electricity directly in some regions to miners. So that's also the problem. So mainly it's an infrastructural problem. So nobody invests in these power plants for 30 years. Nobody have incentives to do that. And now government have to just work with limited resources and keep everyone happy.
Has there been any thought of like the power generators actually just using Bitcoin mining as that end consumer for building out generation? Because if you're mining with it, I mean, you could theoretically, and this has been kind of the hypothesis for some areas like El Salvador, we've talked about this before, where you use mining to fund the, generate the building of infrastructure, power generation, until there's an end consumer that can start taking that power for residential, commercial uses, whatever. But during that time frame where you're waiting for that to occur, you're using mining to basically be your end consumer and fund your operation. Is there nobody talking about doing that over there?
Yeah, we're talking about it, but and even one project is starting now. So the one company, they do not only mining but also oil and gas business, and they started the project where they want to build 1 gigawatt of wind and solar power in one region, and they want first miners to come and consume this electricity, because also they need to build all this infrastructure like electricity lines to get it to the grid, because it's
transmission lines.
Yeah,
that's a problem everywhere. Yeah.
So first they want to generate this electricity and sell to miners, and then after that, some time when they acquire money, they will build the rest. So there is even such project. But the problem with Kazakhstan, it's a systematic problem. It's like, lawmakers. So
that's a problem there too. You have a problem with lawmakers in Kazakhstan? It's crazy. That only happens there.
It's weird. That's a problem that all of us can understand.
Yeah. So the problem that Bitcoin mining is intersection of many areas like finance, energy sector, so utilities. So and a lot of laws should be like changed, and it's not done like really fast. That's why also some problems. And Kazakhstan is too centralized, so that's why everyone needs to comply with the law. If there is no law, then nobody can do it. Here, like even if it's in gray area, so people still do it and waiting just for good legislation.
Yeah, that's the thing. You see so many countries around the world where they could really benefit from bringing mining in as a part of like infrastructure build out and really embracing the opportunity and technology that Bitcoin mining brings in that regard. And it's like, man, you look at El Salvador, they feel like they seem to be embracing it and trying to find ways to continue to weave it into their economy or their grid infrastructure. And then there's others where it's like, man, this is such an opportunity for you. And this is an answer for a lot of the things that are causing you and your population to have unreliable grids or to just not be able to grow in the way they could. Like having the amount of natural resources there in Kazakhstan is a huge, huge opportunity. There, a lot of places don't have that type of natural resources. And it's like, man, this is a way where you can actually take advantage of it and really kind of help the people prosper, help your country prosper. But it's just going to take the lawmakers taking the time to understand what Bitcoin mining is and how it works and what it does. People that don't understand this stuff or like are anti-Bitcoin or anti-crypto or whatever, they turn their back on some of this when it's like, man, this is actually the key to how your country could open the doors of prosperity to everybody. And it's frustrating. So it takes education, and that's where I see you doing a lot. You're writing a lot, right? So are you like, do you work for Bitcoin Magazine, or you just seem to get published by them editorial wise? Like what is the relationship there?
We have just some PR manager in our company, so he does all this stuff like on the backside. He just comes to me with the questions, and like I'm just writing, and then he edits it and he posts it. So I don't deal much with it. But because like we are maybe one of the Kazakh miners companies here, we need also to establish some brand reputation. That's why we're doing it.
Okay, well, it's good. I liked it. So tell us about the mining operations here. How much you got going here, and what are you using for power?
Here it's like total maybe 5 megawatts. Power is just from the grid, so it's a mix. What's in the grid, I don't know. Like they say like 60% renewables, they say. But I haven't checked.
I mean, if they say it, just go with it. Okay. So 5 megawatts. Are you guys hosting, or are you guys doing self mining?
No, we using local hosting, and we do it for one of our Asian clients. So problem here that we face, we've worked in Kazakhstan for a couple years. Then this problem happened with electricity, and he decided to expand in United States. So that's one of the reasons why I came also here. He expanded here. He put like his machines in different places, and he was not happy with how the uptime, how the management and everything service here works. And he told me like, why don't you move? Like, I like working with you guys, like, because and here maybe you can get some of our machines and run them. So we start with 5. Now we also place to some other, and we're helping them.
Well, I've got some clients looking for some ready rack space. So you can call me if you got anything ready to go. We've got some people looking for
how do deals like that work with, like, so you have this client, he comes to you and says, hey, I want to mine like with you guys. Like, what is that relationship like? What is the deal like?
The mining, because a lot of scam in crypto in general, and in mining as well. So it's very important to have reliable partners. So it's very important because we've been scammed in Kazakhstan, in Russia, and in United States. I have a lot of experience
in the United States.
Only been here 6 months.
I know, already got scammed once.
First, our hosting facility, the guy scammed us. But not only us, I think Compass Mining last year had won a lawsuit against them. So he scammed a lot of like different people. So I'm not alone in
Yeah,
this journey.
yeah.
Do we
No,
want to
you're
call?
not.
If you want to call them out, you can call them out. We can put them on blast.
Yeah, you want to put them on blast? Who lost the lawsuit?
The company called Dynamic Mining. Dynamics Mining.
Dynamics Mining.
All right.
I don't know.
Scam alert. So watch out for those guys.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We're just.
Oh, wait.
Allegedly. We're
disclaimer. This is not legal advice.
Just a paranoid lawyer brain.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, and I mean, we've been like since 2018, and in Kazakhstan we have a lot of Asian clients, like from Japan, from Singapore, from China, Korea, and they also, like, I guess, tried other places, and in some other places they got just bad experience. With us, I think they had good experience. That's why they trust us, and that's why they want to us to run their machines, to operate. And
so what do they bring to the table? Is it purely just money and investing? Or
machines.
They're actually bringing the machines,
Just machines.
and then do you guys take like a cut of the Bitcoin, or like what's that? Or they just pay a flat fee, or like how does that
It's
work?
a margin on electricity price.
Okay.
So if it's electricity, for example, is 5 cents, we're charging like 6 cents, and that's it. So 1 cent is
But they're charging that as a service fee.
Yeah.
Right. They pass on the electricity cost, and then they're charging a service fee above that for running the operation or
and then
hosting.
what is that? And then like what does that get them? Are you guys like maintaining the machines? Are you guys handling all of the? What all do you do for that?
We provide, like, like final spot where machine will be placed. So in Kazakhstan, we've built everything by ourselves. So we've been building mining facilities, substations, this transmission. So everything, when it's ready to energize, we put the machine, client's machine, and just run it and maintain it like on daily basis.
Okay.
It's called like hosting business. So we got the team on site. We got the team in the office, software developers, like, and different managers. So when we run their machines, our main goal is the uptime. So we try to keep it high. So
what have you been hitting on average uptime wise?
Like 98%.
Oh, nice, good. And this is in West Virginia?
No, it's in Kazakhstan.
Oh, that's in Kazakhstan.
Because we don't have any curtailment. We didn't have any curtailment.
Yeah, so you can just run. Yeah. The only time you're shut down is basically maintenance or something.
Yeah, maintenance or some emergency on the line, something, weather or basically, yeah.
You're right though about having good partners. I mean, that, like, people do get scammed in this industry still. People get scammed in any industry, but it's still very, very young industry.
I think it's easy when you don't like fully understand a space that you obviously you know that there's a lot of momentum, there's a lot of hype. You see, people who are like doing well. You're like, I want to get in, but yeah, you could find somebody who's a really charismatic snake oil salesman.
Right. There are a lot of them, and people are doing work off Telegram. I was talking, you know what I mean? I mean, that's still a problem that I think we need to get past as an industry. Is like we gotta mature in the professionalism side, and really kind of the ones who are scammers, like, they do need to get put on blast, and they do, like, we got to do a good job of weeding out the snake oil salesman and all that.
One bad apple kind of ruins it.
It ruins it for everybody. I mean, if you have a large institutional player that comes in and gets scammed, that could be the end of their opportunities or willingness to get into this type of business. And we don't want that. And so it is really important to have that. It's also important because what happened in Kazakhstan and what's happened, like Russia, there was a lot of different areas, China, obviously, the geopolitical risk of setting up operations in certain areas. And we saw that with Compass had a Kazakhstan area mining operation, didn't they? That I think they got impacted by it. I know they had this deal with Russia.
They're the Russian one that they just came in and just seized it.
Yeah. And so stuff like that happens. And it's oil and gas has kind of learned that lesson over time, like people getting basically.
We were talking about that.
Oh, were you? Yeah. So it's not unique just to the mining industry, but I think because the mining industry is so new and you got a lot of retail folks that get in that whole evaluation process or thought process, we think that, well, okay, we will just sue someone if something doesn't work out here, and we'll have some type of like avenue to a remedy. You don't always have that when you go set up shop in Kazakhstan or some of these other places, and so it's tough. But making sure when you are investing that you're investing in a place that has a low geopolitical risk is probably best. I was telling somebody before, like I would set up shop in El Salvador before I'd set up shop in New York when it comes to Bitcoin mining.
Is there any sort of like, I don't know if there's a way to like quantify it, but like a geopolitical risk index?
Yeah, I know.
Being like, hey, if you're going to be mining, like here's the least risky to the most risky.
Right. I'm sure
here's
those
like
evaluations are done internally probably at these places. But like, that's just another area. I think this whole industry is going to grow and we're going to continue to see like development and like there's going to be new areas of where like businesses that pop up to service the mining industry. It's like gold mining, you know, you get dudes selling shovels and all this kind of stuff. So I think it's, you know, we'll see all that happen, but yeah, right now it's like you gotta really be careful about where you.
And you know, irony with all this, like I thought United States is the like most safe place to mine.
Yeah.
And immediately after we came, like maybe 2 months later, we placed these machines in Kentucky and we got scammed heavily.
Really?
And the guy, the professional, I mean, I didn't see such way of scamming anywhere. He actually rented a warehouse, put the racks in it, did the infrastructure, some small, like maybe for 500 machines.
Yeah.
So it was like perfect showroom. So whenever you go there, you see everything is real.
Right.
So he shows everything, the contracts with the utilities, the contract for renting the warehouse. You see some machines are mining. And you say, okay, so this guy spends so much money. Probably he won't scam me. Like, I mean, everything is there. So everything you need to check is there. So he has the space where he can put these machines. He has everything. And then he uses all this, like, I mean, just a showroom for other guys to come and send him deposit monies and send him machines.
And then he bounces.
Wow. Yeah. Then he just keep like giving excuses. This happened months after months.
Right.
And one day we went there and there is no mining there. We called the landlord. He said this guy didn't pay rent for me, so he left. So then you go to the police and they say 2 or 3 more companies already also like looking for him. He's come. So then you go to lawyers who already working with some of these, you know, clients who were scammed as well.
Yeah.
So and it was like, you know, in the movie. So like you're watching Hollywood movie, like, wow.
Wow, this is happening to me in real life.
You gotta get Dog the Bounty Hunter to go find this guy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why you need a good law firm to help you vet these people and vet these contracts. We have Martin Legal Group.
We need to have a jingle every time.
I know.
Every time you go,
ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I mean, we have a strong case. We have the contract. We have all evidences. We have everything, but still it will take time and money to sue him. And,
right.
I hope that the justice system here works well and he will be punished.
I would say the justice system here works as good as it probably can. For most places.
That's a really good way to put it.
Right. Yeah. But it's slow.
It's not perfect.
It moves at an iceberg pace. You know what I mean? It's very slow.
And expensive.
And it's expensive. And it's not perfect. There's never going to be a perfect system. The problem too is that the law is always trying to catch up to technology. And technology moves at such a pace and scammers move at a very fast pace. And they take advantage of these opportunities in technology to basically be in front of people, and people are always in a hurry to get stuff online, a hurry to get stuff going, and it's like, man, it's tough. So I'm sorry that happened to you. I really am. That sucks. Especially to be your first experience in the U.S. Like, golly, man.
But you know, it was first, and then we got like more, you know, professional how not to be scammed.
Right.
So you learn from experience.
Right. Yeah, man, that's tough. So. What are you guys' plans, your growth plans, and are you guys, what are you thinking? Where are you going from here?
We just plan to like increase our mining operation, get more self-mining. We also do mining for ourselves. We have more than 1,000 machines mining for ourselves as well. I mean, for the company, and we want to grow that as well. And we're looking for good, you know, sites where we can build out.
You need to call me, man. We got some stuff we're working on. We can talk business after this, but what are you looking in any particular states like Texas or?
everywhere.
Everywhere.
So yeah, in Texas there is a good project. I think local Texans also they do this in Corpus Christi. I think you know, like they are building 300 megawatt facility.
Yeah,
and we also like.
Are you guys involved on that one?
Not we, but one of our clients.
Yeah.
So we introduced and they co-invested in this project.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do, we want to run some operation there. So maybe not all 300 megawatts, but some of the operation we try to get the part where daily operations, maintenance, attracting clients, so develop it there.
What would be the time frame on that? Getting operational?
So they are trying to get energized by the end of this year. That's an optimistic plan.
Right.
I believe it happened, but maybe first or second quarter next year. It's like more.
What do you think with the halving coming up? What's your thoughts?
I believe that the Bitcoin price will go up after halving.
Right. Well, I do too. I don't know how long though. And that's like we didn't start mining at J until post halving of the last one.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to deal with like a 50% reduction in your revenue overnight. I'm just kind of anxious to see how it all plays out with a lot of the folks that are coming online. Like towards the end of the year, right? It's
Is anybody building essentially decline curves to project these things out?
Oh yeah, they do. They're tough to model though, man, because you got the other factor you got in there is the difficulty increase, right? And so it's tough to model it because you don't know what is going to happen. And I was having a conversation with a guy yesterday about this, and it's hard to figure out where that hash rate's all coming from. It's not all coming from public miners, from big public miners.
Well, I think Marathon is only like 3.5% of all global hash rate.
Right.
And they are biggest, I think.
And so it's like, look, it's not all the public miners that are bringing it on because you would see that in their reporting, right? All their public filings and whatnot.
So just tons of small miners?
I think it's either like family offices or governments. I think there's a lot of governments that are probably getting involved. I think probably Russia, maybe even China. I don't know if China, might be pulling the rug out on people. So
it could be.
But
China still has some mining,
right?
Just
hidden.
The larger ones who has some connections political, so they still doing.
Yeah,
but you see the beauty of the system. I mean, the beauty design of the Bitcoin mining. So we don't know like much about it, but it works. Like when the hash rate grows, everyone incentivized to do mining. It's beautiful.
It is, and. Have you written on anything on the ordinals and kind of how that has it? Yeah. So what's your thoughts on those? I know the talk about them has kind of died down a little bit, but what are your thoughts on that? And do you think is it something to stay or is it kind of a fad?
Ordinals, in my perception, is just one of the things that Bitcoin will also be involved in. So you can't like cancel all this stuff like developments. Ordinals good for miners because they pay fees and everything. We did quite good some period, and I believe this is something that gonna evolve. So we will see more ordinals hype. I think during next bull market, we will see some new developments on top of Bitcoin blockchain, different applications. And eventually, like even the rewards is halved every 4 years. We will see more like commissions. So at the miner, I believe like in the long run, we will like at some period we will have like less than 1 Bitcoin of rewards for the block emissions, but we will have more fees on because of the transaction, because of all these applications happening on Bitcoin,
the whole ecosystem. Right. So, I agree, and I still think it's just a crazy, I don't want to say miracle necessarily, but like the fact that this could be built and how it is actually implemented throughout the world, and it continues to grow, and it shows a lot of the ordinals is a good example of like the diversity and flexibility of the Bitcoin network and what it can do, and how you really can build anything you want on top of it and use it for whatever you want. It's like an ultimate freedom tool for money and for an ecosystem where people can transact together with each other, and I think it's remarkable.
Are there any other good examples of things like ordinals that are that miners can get paid on?
Not exactly right now. Ordinals were kind of,
A
something new,
right.
fresh.
Yeah.
But it's been a big boom for the miners. It's been a very big boom for them. Has it kind of died down though, as far as the transactional kind of uplift it had for a little while?
Yeah.
I know for a while it was remarkable what it did.
Yeah, even I think some blocks, the transactions fee were like higher than the block reward.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which that's wild, man.
That's
The block reward is 6.25 or whatever, or 6.5, whatever it is. Yeah, and the block rewards were higher than
like 7
or the
Bitcoins,
transactions. Yeah.
7.5. So we were like, our revenues like almost
doubled
at that time.
Wild, huh?
I'm curious to see what comes along next.
I know. That's what's exciting. That's where you get into like the developer side. And I mean, we're oil and gas guys, energy guys. I'm not a freaking computer programmer.
The files are in the computer.
Yeah, they're in the computer. Yeah, so that's like me and you. I don't know who's Zoolander and who's derelict. But yeah, that's kind of my knowledge of it. It's like I just leave it to them. But I know there's going to be things that are continued to be built on it, and
absolutely,
that's just kind of where it's like you just trust that the developers, they're doing their job and they're coming up with new ways to utilize the network, and the miners are out here supporting it through keeping the network running. And it's a good symbiotic relationship between two very, very different groups of people.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is like, from every perspective that you look on, Bitcoin is beautiful. I mean, it's like self-sustaining system. Nobody needs to, make any decisions. It's all like, all like counterparties are incentivized to do something. Miners, we want to build more, we want more hash rate running. Like, I mean, developers, they are doing their ordinals and some other stuff. So.
Well, and from you being from basically a communist controlled country for as long as I could remember, right? Until 91.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably a different perspective of how important having sound money that really gives you kind of a sovereign aspect of your life that isn't controlled by the communist regime or by some state power. It's got to be like, you look at it probably with a little bit different reverence than somebody like us, like that we haven't lived through that type of government control or I don't know, I guess fear of like the government coming in and being able to basically take things away from you or dictate what you have to do with it. And so, yeah, I got to imagine there's probably a little bit more reverence that you have for what it actually provides people.
Yeah, actually, it's freedom, financial freedom, because like when you're not pleased by government, they just can remove you from the system. They can block your bank accounts, then they can like take away your property and everything. So here, property is protected. Yeah, nobody can take your property. There, like they can find some political, incentive or some. If you are not pleased, if you're saying some things they don't like, if you're doing some things they don't like, so they just can, not only put you in jail but take all of your properties. It's in the law, so they can take your money, they can take your house, everything, but they cannot take Bitcoin. Yeah,
right.
You have private keys.
Yes.
I mean,
Not your keys,
not your cheese.
Yeah,
we needed some jingles going
I know
on.
we do, man. We do. But.
Yeah, now it's not like this. I mean, in Kazakhstan, it's more like now it's more freedom and everything. But yeah, during the Soviet times, during some period in Kazakhstan also, there was some time when you are afraid of doing something, saying something. And also, I believe that the financial systems are corrupted and people who run them are not exactly good at it. So their like monetary system, fiscal system, so politics and everything, they're like doing it bad. That's why we see a lot of problems economical in Kazakhstan. So why would we trust in like currency, like which is run by some people who are maybe not best in their what they do, but they are like more like, on ideological way or on some, this connections. They are running the system.
Bitcoin removes like human error, even if it's innocent error. It removes the human corruption aspect and it removes the human error. So that's why, I mean, it's undoubtedly the strongest form of money that I think we could ever
gives you
find.
confidence that what you get in Bitcoin value, no matter how, like what the price of Bitcoin, you control it.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody can take it from you without your will. Maybe only gangsters.
Yeah. Give me your seed phrase.
But government cannot do it this thing. So that's
gangsters could steal your cash too. So it's man,
they can take everything.
Gangsters can take anything. You know what I mean?
They can.
Speaking of gangsters, did y'all see the news about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. saying that he wants to back the U.S. dollar with Bitcoin?
I did.
He said that like came out apparently like yesterday, and so it's super, since it's going to go out Monday, super topical. So I'm curious what y'all's thoughts are.
I will freely admit I'm not a member of either party.
Same.
I will never ever be a member of any party.
Two-party system's the problem.
Right. It is.
100%.
And I think just ideologues are the problem too. Like you're selling yourself to a party regardless of what they do say, you're just going to buy in. It's a problem. But I try to look at individuals and decide on who I would want to vote for. And obviously Bitcoin is a huge thing for me, and I think it's probably one of the biggest issues that we could discuss in the world because of how dominant the US dollar is around the world. And so having something that actually backs the US dollar, I think is hugely valuable in strengthening the dollar. And that's part of the thing. Too often people assume that Bitcoin has to replace the dollar, or, that's what's going to happen. Having it back the dollar would be wonderful. That would be a wonderful way to go. I think Robert Kennedy is trying to, I like what he's been saying, right? And I don't agree with everything he says, but I
don't agree with his energy position, particularly around oil and gas.
Right.
But all the Bitcoin stuff's great.
Right. And I agree, but I have heard him mention things too about, it wasn't necessarily like we need to get rid of all fossil fuels, but it was a more logical approach of like, look, because I'm not going to convince everybody that oil and gas is not as bad as what they think it is. But what you can say is like, look, if you can slowly move away from it into a reliable, profitable, and sustainable energy source, but reliable and profitable are also part of it being sustainable.
It's the trifecta. That's what you got to have.
Right. You got to have it. And so if you don't have those other aspects to it, then it's not sustainable. But if you're saying, look, we want to slowly move into something that is just as reliable, just as profitable, and just as sustainable, then great, sure. Okay. If technology allows you to do that in a responsible way and you're not sitting here calling it one dirty, one clean, because that's complete hypocrisy. It's not true. Yeah. Then yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm a capitalist, right? And that's kind of, if you're truly a capitalist, like let it play out. And that's fine. But like from a Bitcoin standpoint and what he's saying about, trying to get something hard backing the dollar, I think absolutely. Yeah. And I think it'd be huge.
I don't think there's anything better to back the dollar with than Bitcoin.
Right. I don't either. I really don't. And I just think that if he could somehow get through that Democratic primary, I would be ecstatic. I would be ecstatic. And I think Bitcoin would see a nice little bump from that as well.
Yeah.
If he somehow won, which like where's our tinfoil hat? We always have a time for a tinfoil hat. I don't think the powers that be will allow it. It'd have to be
I'm going to be honest. I don't really understand how all that works, but I sense that. Yeah. I don't know how it works with, particularly on the Democratic side, right? I don't understand with Joe Biden being the incumbent. I don't know. You have to make it to the primaries.
They still can go primary him. Yeah, they still can primary. Like he still has to get the nomination to be the Democratic nominee.
Okay. Well, wouldn't the party's choice naturally be?
It would naturally be the incumbent, typically,
sitting president, even though he's completely senile.
Yeah. Typically, that would be that's who you. If I was them, I'd want somebody else too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like this has gotten silly. This is.
Robert F. Kennedy's jacked too.
Right. He's a fit dude.
Yeah.
You remember when Biden and Trump were talking about fighting each other all the time? And it's like, gosh, Kennedy would whip both of us.
Oh yeah.
Like not even close. So, but yeah, I mean, it's, I think politics has gotten so ridiculous here. I think it's actually a sign of the decline of our country. Honestly, like these are the best people we can put up. We have to have new blood, man. This has gotten crazy, and I will look at it and I think about like history, and you look at Rome and you look at the fall of Greece, all these different areas, and it's like, man, this looks very similar.
You see the meme where they say like hard times create
hard men,
like
strong
men,
men,
right.
Strong men create good times.
Good times
create
weak men create bad times. You know, it's like, or tough times. Yeah, it's true. It's true. So everything's a pendulum. Everything's a pendulum, and you know we're going to go through ups and downs. And I think we're probably in the midst of this time where like we got to find ourselves again. We got to find ourselves again because what we're doing to ourselves based on ideological, you know, reasoning is horrible, and I don't see it getting better with any of the people that are on the Republican or the Democratic side. I know that would probably not be agreed by a lot of the people that probably listen to us, but it's just how I feel. I'm not a fan of it.
The bigger problem is just Washington,
right?
In general, yeah, all of that. Yep. If we could somehow pass some law to where it's like clean slate and everybody out elect all new people,
I think we're just
term limits.
Oh, term limits. We need them so bad, and we got to get away from the like the moral based policy decisions. Yeah. Like this is ridiculous. Like the stuff we're all arguing about are like these ridiculous morality issues. Depending on what side you're on, you're going to have a different opinion. Like that's not a real issue. You go to places like Kazakhstan, you go to places like El Salvador, you go to these other places that are developing, they're trying to get out of the situation they've been in. They're not talking about the same issues that we talk about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We manufacture issues.
We manufacture issues completely. And everybody uses the same issue. They just go to the extreme on one side or the other to try to rile people up, feed them red meat, and get them pissed off at each other. And it's disgusting, man. I'm tired of it. Sorry.
Yeah, I support you. I mean, when the humans decide what's moral or not, like they always will argue. You need some absolute, like God says this is bad,
right?
This is good.
Yeah.
So basically, then you just follow. You don't make up your mind what's bad and good.
Right.
So for me, it's more simple because maybe I'm from Kazakhstan and we have like more traditional. So yeah, whatever God says is good, is good. Whatever God says is bad, and you just try to follow this. You don't like contradict with Him.
That's true. The problem I have with that though, I think that you see here is that people don't look like people that don't believe in God or don't believe whatever we prescribe as God or what we believe as God. They're not ever going to agree. You know what I mean? That is the moral thing. That they're going to look at it from a standpoint of, well, that's ridiculous. You know, we don't believe in that. So, but they want to force the same thing that they want to force what they believe down your throat. And it's just like, why don't you guys just take care of yourself? We'll take care of ourselves. Like, everybody chill. Yeah. Stop trying to force your morality onto each other, and both sides do it.
Everybody should just mind their own damn business.
Just mind your business. Yeah. Like even the Libertarian Party, I'm not a part of the Libertarian Party, but part of that mindset of like, take care of yourself.
I agree. Right? I agree with like, a lot of the ideologies of libertarianism.
I do too. And it's like, look, I'm not going to force my morality on you. I'm going to take care of me and my family. You don't force yours on me. Just take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and we'll all be okay. And look within. That's how we all should be. Look within. Take care of your business, be a good, kind person. That's universal. Yeah. That's universal. So like, that doesn't mean I have to agree with your lifestyle or what your choices you make, but I also don't need to like go and try to tell you you're evil and you're going to hell. Like,
yeah, and it's beautiful.
Because honestly, I don't know who goes to heaven and hell. I'll find out one day, but I don't know now.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. So like, let's stop pretending. Think of time. I saw a study the other day. They said that the universe is twice as old as what they thought it was. So you're talking about 27, 28 billion years.
Yeah.
How do they know? They don't know. Basically what they're saying is we don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we're supposed.
How would you even try to like come up with that? I don't know.
They can base it on light and measurement. You know what I mean? The gases, and all that kind of different stuff. I'm not a.
But you're limited. You're limited based on the technology, right?
Right.
It's just like with these like telescopes and stuff.
The James Webb stuff's awesome. I love looking at
Oh, man,
stuff.
that's some of the
incredible.
coolest stuff to look at.
I will
Like,
go
is
down
this real or
some
is this
rabbit
Photoshop?
holes, man. I will go down rabbit holes where I'm like, I'm all over the space stuff and all kinds of like simulation theory, string theory, all this kind of stuff. I love like reading about it. But end of the day, you leave that with, man, I am a speck of dust, and I'm less than a blink of an eye in the history of the universe, the history of the Earth, and the history of a lot of things.
Dude, we're just a bunch of who's living on a snowflake.
Yeah, man.
You know what I
like,
mean?
let's stop trying to control everybody. You know what I mean? And let's just take care of, like, live in the moment, enjoy your life. I got Jackson in here getting produce again, and it's like, man, I got awesome kids. I get to spend a lot of time with them, and I'm going to spend my energy and time thinking about them and like hanging out with them. I'm not going to worry about what bathroom somebody's going into. You know what I mean? It's no point in it. You got people in Kazakhstan that are trying to figure out how to keep the lights on in their house. Yeah. We have people in El Salvador trying to figure out how they're going to feed their family. And we're over here arguing about freaking bathrooms and what color hair somebody has.
That's a big reason I've kind of got off Twitter for a little bit.
I'm
not like entirely off, but I don't let myself just spend time scrolling through because it's just like doom scrolling. It's just always something new. It's just always people fighting about everything. I'm like, to be honest with you, I just don't care.
I don't care.
Most things that people want to complain about.
Right. There's no point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got people to deal with real stuff. Sorry, we took that in a weird direction, man.
I mean, I agree.
We're gonna start a cult. That's what we're gonna do.
Yep. Bitcoin cult. So, but yeah, I'm gonna build a little citadel one of these days here soon. I told you a little bit about my plans, but you guys are gonna be you guys are both welcome out there. Jackson, can we allow them to come out and hang out at our farm? Oh, we can. Okay, they're welcome. All right. Can we say Jackson came to executive produce again today? You got a question for Mr. Didar here?
Yeah, but I forgot it.
What was it? You asked me something about the sports.
Yeah, I know. I already looked it up.
Oh, we'll ask him.
Isn't the national sport of Kazakhstan horse racing?
Yeah, it's mostly horse racing, and we have some kind of like team play with the horses. It's kind of brutal for Western people, but basically it's a sheep, dead sheep. Like, I mean,
the dead sheep?
Dead sheep?
Yeah, and you use it as a ball. I mean,
what?
You ride the horse, and the two teams, they have like goals like on both sides, and you need to bring, like American football, you need to bring this sheep and put it in your opponent's
Is
goal.
it like a full sheep with arms and legs? Or not arms, I guess mostly legs, but okay, so it's a full sheep, dead, and they just like drag it and put it in a
mix of polo and American football.
Yeah, with a dead sheep. Yeah, that is like some freaking Genghis Khan stuff, man.
And it's hard to play because you need to be strong, very strong, because you not only need to carry the sheep, you need to protect it from other players. I mean, your opponent's players, and they like jumping on you, like hitting you, trying to get the sheep. So it's
Jackson, you just asked the best question of the day. That's incredible.
That is mind-blowing.
By the way, Genghis Khan's not better than Sun Tzu.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you, executive producer.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Holland's better than Mbappe.
Okay. All right. But yeah, that's incredible, man. That is incredible.
It's not common, but it's national. I mean, it's still.
What's the sport called?
Kokpar.
I don't know how to spell that.
Yeah.
I can assure you, I did not expect that to be the answer.
Yeah, we are like nomadic. Yeah.
How do you spell it?
It's Kokpar, like this.
Kokpar.
Oh,
I have to look up an image of this. This is wild.
I'm gonna be watching that on YouTube.
I mean, but this is kind of like the Houston livestock show and rodeo, except the animal's dead that you're fighting over. It's kind of like a rodeo. It's like a rodeo polo.
A rodeo polo with a dead sheep.
I mean,
well, that's wild, man. That's awesome. Have you been to an event? Holy moly. Have you been to one of those?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, wow.
Even once I tried to play, but I couldn't. I just stand on my horse. I'm not involved.
You never got the lamb or the sheep?
Do they eat the sheep?
These guys are the professional. They can hurt you.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible. I'm watching one when I
This
on the way
is
home.
nuts. Yeah, I'm gonna see if they have like Coke Bar on like ESPN the Ocho.
Oh man, that is awesome. I don't know how else we could end the show better than that.
That's a great high note to go out
Yeah.
on.
What's that? No, that's not.
We
This
don't
is
we know
good.
nothing
You can't
about
top
soccer.
that. We can't top that. Nope. Didar, Jackson, hold up, bro. Didar, thank you for coming. We appreciate it, man. That was
Thank you, guys.
awesome, enlightening, and I just always enjoyed talking to people with different perspectives and kind of from different areas because Bitcoin's such a powerful thing for people, and it's nice to talk to people who can really appreciate and experience that, have experienced it. So thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on, man. It's been great.
Yeah, Jake, Justin, thank you.
Absolutely.
Anytime, man.
If
Anytime.
you guys like the show, hey, leave us a rating review, share it with your friends. Appreciate all the support. We're getting back to our regularly scheduled releases. So looking forward to doing a lot more of these. We got a ton on the schedule coming up. If you want to come on the show, if you got a cool story to tell or you've ever chatted with us and you want to come on and just like hang out, chop it up a little bit, reach out, let me know. Shoot me a note over at jake@digitalwildcutters.com. Anything else? Anything else
No,
going
man.
on?
Holland's
No?
better.
Okay, we heard you. Thank you for Jackson showing up today again too. School's starting soon, so you might not make another
Boo.
appearance for a while.
And those are my headphones on that chair.
Thanks, guys.